So, jetzt aber. Hier machen wir jetzt weiter. Wenn ich mich recht entsinne, ging es jetzt darum, dass wir den Furio Tigre aufrufen. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. Na, da wäre ich mir nicht so sicher. Wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now... Oh shit, mein Schreibtisch fällt auseinander. Moment. He said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. Schreibtisch, bitte. Kannst du das jetzt nicht machen? Oh Gott. Oh, gleich bricht alles auseinander. Oh, wie das Holz schon knackst. Oh, oh, oh. So. Oh. Nichts passiert. Ich habe schon geplant, einen neuen Schreibtisch zu kaufen übrigens. Also er ist total im Arsch. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. Huh. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Ja, das ist natürlich ein Problem. Ich meine, dann können wir so viel argumentieren und Wahrheiten ans Licht bringen, wie wir wollen. Solange wir kein Beweismittel haben, um das auch zu, beweisen eben, kann Godot sagen, ja, tolle Theorie, aber dabei bleibt's. Oh, ist das Gumshoe? Hey, Pal. Ja, der sagt doch mal Pal. Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Mrs. Topknot. It's not a top knot. Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I get kinda wound up. No kidding. You're gonna have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, ich meine, wenn du jetzt irgendwie total tolle Beweisstücke aus dem Hut zaubern könntest, wäre das natürlich voll Töfte, aber ich gehe mal davon aus, dass er nichts hat. Hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True, without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. Wir könnten ihm doch... You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour. Wir könnten ihm doch die kleine Flasche geben. Die wurde ja nicht fertig analysiert, hieß es. Victim's ear medicine found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Oh, jetzt muss ich sogar auswählen. Hätte ich ja einfach nur eine Textbox weitermachen müssen. Hier. Ich frage mich, ob man ihm da auch was anderes geben kann und dann ist das nicht richtig und deswegen hat man es später schwerer, weil einem was fehlt. Ich glaube aber nicht, dass das so Branching ist. Ja, ich habe Branching jetzt als Adjektiv im Deutschen verwendet. What you gonna do? If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, that's the small ball I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me, too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Sure, I'll try. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Yeah, I guess, that's a way of putting it. Kurz vor 2 schon. Hat Phoenix eigentlich mal Mittagessen gehabt? Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tiger? Stimmt ja. Wir hatten ja die Pause gemacht, weil Godot meinte, er bringt den in 30 Minuten hierher. I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tiger, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tiger to the stand. Oh, 9. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the... Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room for me down there, too. Would you mind? What do you just say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the heck got me into this hole? What it you, Spiky? No, of course not. Solltest du doch schon wissen. It was the judge. Achso, so ist es gemeint. The judge who... Wow, jetzt sehen wir das erste Mal den Stuhl vom Richter. Das ist auch mal ein interessantes Detail. Haben wir sonst noch nie so richtig gesehen, finde ich. Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. I'll just stay down here. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said who the hell was it that called me in here? Oh, there's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare, the relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that holds you in. Hat er nicht vorhin noch gesagt, er hätte ihn auch schon gezähmt? Weil das stimmt ja offenbar nicht, wenn er jetzt hier erstmal so rumbrüllt und jetzt erst von ihm gezähmt werden muss. Offenbar. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Jetzt, vielleicht kommst du erstmal heraus, bevor du mir sowas sagst. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mouse boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Me, who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course, well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then? Kommt er jetzt überhaupt nicht mehr hervor? Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Felix Wright. You're the one who set these up, didn't you? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Wäre es nicht cool, wenn wir jetzt Franziska von Karma hätten, die den mal so richtig auspeitscht? Also, Tiger meine ich, nicht Phoenix. Get a grip, Nick. Okay. Oh dear. I didn't know nothing about no murder. Okay. I was tied up with business. Also, I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tenderlander every single day. You're the one to check my alibi just out by a letter. At least I found my pen. Ja, tatsächlich, so sieht man den Stuhl vom Richter über... Oh Gott, was ist denn jetzt schon wieder? Jetzt habe ich nicht gesehen, was der Richter gesagt hat. Very well, then Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Achso. Ich habe kurz im Stream nachgeguckt. Da ist die kurze Zeitverzögerung immer ganz praktisch. What is it, please, witness? If you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer, he just punches away. It's stupid details till he wins. Ja, manchmal. Lowlife, me? Come on. Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000 and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. Können wir wirklich einfach Nein sagen? That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you're tangled with the tiger. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute, that's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You'd better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my boss. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Oh shit. Das heißt, wir müssen uns jetzt genau überlegen, wo wir Press drücken. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Tiger's Alibi. Lass uns doch mal eben so zum Beginn gucken, was wir jetzt alles noch an Evidenz haben. Das hatte ich bei einigen, bei Teil 2 habe ich das, glaube ich, des Öfteren gemacht und das hat immer ganz gut geholfen, weil man das dann alles nochmal kurz im Gedächtnis hat. Hier bei Danganronpa habe ich das auch gerne gemacht. Also wir haben diese Zeitschrift Left by Victim, die hat der Glenn Elk da offenbar gelassen. Da sind so Doodles drauf, wo 100.000 durchgestrichen ist. MC Bomber wissen wir, weil es ist ein Virus und da steht auch nochmal 500.000 und noch eine Bombe. Ich glaube, der Master Maske da unten ist nicht wirklich relevant. Das ist dieses Magazin haben wir, wo drin steht vom 5. Dezember, dass wir vor Gericht total versagt haben und unser Klient guilty war. Job-Listings, das war von dem Victor. Ich weiß nicht, ob das jetzt noch irgendwie relevant ist. Das hatten wir eigentlich nur beim Cyclock-Brechen benutzt. Das Lunch-Special, Trebiner Lunch-Special, kostet $20, obwohl es unglaublich scheiße schmeckt. Scooter von Dings. Tiger ist kaputt. Jean's Loan Contract, ja, das kennen wir. Dass der Jean Armstrong $500.000 Schulden hat. Victor's Testimony, when the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my... Ja, genau, das hätte ich jetzt immer schon wieder vergessen, dass wir das da haben. Das, ja, okay, das ist der Floorplan, falls wir den mal brauchen. Glenn's Autopsy Report, died of potassium cyanide poisoning, time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30. Das ist auch noch gut zu wissen, dass da eine ganze Stunde, das nicht genauer festgestellt werden konnte. Aus welchem Grund auch immer. Da haben wir das Foto. Da sieht man halt auch keine kaputte Vase, ne? Coffee containing potassium cyanide. Da konnte man auch dran sehen, dass es mit der rechten Hand genommen wurde. Das ist auch ein Lippenabdruck. Victim's Lottery Ticket. $500,000. Wurde bei Maggie gefunden. Die hat auch noch so eine Schürze mit Ketchup und Kaffee drauf gehabt. Potassium Cyanide. Das wurde auch bei Maggie gefunden in ihrer Schürze. Victim's Prescription Bag. Genau, das hatte Glenn vom Doktor bekommen. Da war aber nichts mehr drin. Glens Kalender haben wir. Da steht für den 3. Meet with the Tiger. Das könnte jetzt schon mal... Na, sehen wir mal. Da bin ich jetzt schon sehr froh, dass ich das gerade alles nochmal durchgehe, weil das könnte jetzt irgendwie relevant sein, denke ich mal. Wir wollen jetzt irgendwie beweisen, dass das... Tiger hat ja gerade behauptet, er hätte sich überhaupt nie da irgendwie mit dem Glenn getroffen oder überhaupt nie da gewesen und könnte man das hier präsentieren. Paper badge found a tender lender made of cardboard and painted to look authentic. MC Bomber computer virus made by Glenn Elk, potentially worth millions of dollars. Millionaire radio flyer, experience the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Gamshu's lunchbox, tenderly handmade lunchbox, fills the stomach with love and plenty of weenies. Warum haben wir das eigentlich noch? Viola's medical papers, a $1 million bill for cranial surgery. Payment was due last year. 1 million? Und Trebien Matches. Die stimmt, die können wir ja auch noch benutzen. Vielleicht, die haben wir ja in Tender Länder gefunden. So, jetzt müssen wir aufpassen, wo wir Press auswählen. I don't know nothing about no murder. Wird wahrscheinlich nicht großartig irgendwas, hervorzaubern, wenn wir da pressen. Also lasse ich das dann mal lieber. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. Das könnte schon mal relevant sein, wenn man da vielleicht mal Press macht und dann guckt, ob man irgendwie den Kalender präsentieren kann. Vielleicht kann man sogar direkt den Kalender präsentieren, aber ich will zumindest Press mal versuchen. Es klang ja gerade so, dass wir irgendwie Press machen müssen, nur halt wissen wo. Ways lined up to borrow cash from $10. Okay, das klingt nicht so wirklich wichtig. Just want to check my alibi, just ask by a letter. Ich nehme jetzt mal das zweite. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Ja, das glaube ich dir sogar. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadavarini?
She was everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office.
Mainly ist nicht completely.
That's what it says, so that's where I was. It seems like a rather sketchy schedule.
There he goes again.
What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Press harder. Wage ich jetzt mal.
What do you want?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
This is a dead-end trial, and you know it. Remember the rules.
Oh. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately.
I agree.
Von unterm Tisch. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanted to do business with me. I had never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please.
Meine Güte, der Judge sollte vielleicht auch mal was von Godots Kaffee trinken, wenn er wirklich so eine Wirkung hat, wie Christian meinte.
Mr. Tiger, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony.
Bruh. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself.
The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before.
Okay, das sieht doch gut aus. Dun, 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 dun. Wir möchten da mal bitte den Finger ausstrecken und sagen... Aha. Mr. Tiger, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the Tiger. About the date? December the 3rd.
December 3rd? That's the day of the murder.
So, Mr. Tiger, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg, because on the very day of the incident you met with him. Und wehe, da kommt jetzt irgend so eine Argumentation wie, ja, das war ein anderer The Tiger, weil ja auch so viele Leute normalerweise so heißen, ne? Oh, ich sehe jetzt erst, was für einen furchtbaren Anzug also wie furchtbar sein Anzug von hinten aussieht.
Not bad. You was actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You was calling me a liar. Is that why you do it?
So you're saying that you claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
Oh, son, I'm dead serious. You the better believe that's the truth.
Huh. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is why you testify for the court again, Mr. Tiger.
Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness?
You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. Geht jetzt immer noch, dass wir nicht pressen, dass wir vorsichtig pressen müssen? Mal gucken.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elg. It was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, then to Linda. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never been to that Tribune joint. You see here?
Okay, ich kann es mir jetzt schon denken. Die Streichhölzer. Ich meine, er behauptet, er ist nie da gewesen. Nämlich, als wir die Streichhölzer schon das erste Mal aufgehoben haben, habe ich gedacht, da wird bestimmt irgendwann im Court, im Gerichtssaal, ein Moment kommen, wo er behauptet, er wäre nie da gewesen. Jetzt ist der Moment gekommen. Ich glaube, da muss ich nicht mal pressen.
I see, that all seems perfectly logical to me. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bills now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right.
Ja, und du gehst gleich straight to prison, wenn wir mit dir fertig sind. Ain't a liar. Ja, ich weiß schon. Ich bin mir jetzt bin ich mir ganz sicher. Es muss einfach richtig sein. Okay, fängt gut an. Das heißt, wahrscheinlich werde ich nachher wieder total ablosen. Mr. Tiger, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What are you talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. Jetzt behauptet er wahrscheinlich, dass Violetta die da hingebracht hat oder sowas. Well, if you've really never been to Très Bien before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You was a bit stupid around the mouth stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no brother controlling me. Order, order, well, witness. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. Schön gesagt. And this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elk that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Oh dear.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon.
Okay. Das müsste hinkommen.
When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out and I went straight back to my office.
I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Huh. No problem. Anytime Tribe presses you in something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Oh Gott, schon wieder. Also das.
Mr. Godot, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
This special express ain't cheap, right?
Just so you to know, since you was a pain.
Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Seriously. Good, I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as some concrete. Figured if the place wasn't hot already it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out. I went straight, Well, Nick, what do you think? He is running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. I've got to come right back at him with a contradiction. Be careful what you press him on, though, or you'll get penalized, okay? Na gut. Wir haben ja noch volle Health. Können wir vielleicht mal ein paar Sachen wagen. Weil so ganz bin ich mir noch nicht sicher, was ich jetzt machen soll. We're supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. I was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. A figured the plate was on my way to the east. I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out. Okay. So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Tender Lender at all, then?
Kid was making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I want to talk about repayments. Even though I got the best punching bag you've ever seen if there are any issues.
Maybe it's because of the punching bag that people are scared to come. So that's why you decided to meet at Très Bien? Ah, you were going over old ground again, Tribe. Sorry. You just earned yourself a penalty. Now suck it down.
You will suck down the penalty, Mr. Wright, and you will like it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Na gut, wenigstens ist es nicht so viel Schaden. Probieren wir mal das zweite. An ugly scene? What do you mean? Ah, the witness has already told us, Tried. which makes that question irrelevant. But I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you make a penalty tried, or our guts will look like the inside of a chimney, ashy.
Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Wright.
Oh shit. Oh. Guess I shouldn't have pressed him on that.
I guess I'm gonna make that a special express after all. So, to recap, this ugly scene you saw was...
Guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Muss ich hier überhaupt pressen? Ich meine, vielleicht muss ich direkt was präsentieren. You mean you saw Glenn Elk's dead body?
I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind.
Only saw him from behind. Vielleicht sollten wir mal gucken, ob das überhaupt möglich ist. Oh, ich meine, wo war der Eingang? Links oder rechts? Vielleicht hat er ihn ja, wenn er reingeht, hätte er ihn nur von vorne sehen können oder so. Wenn er reingeht, hätte er ihn überhaupt nicht sehen können. Aha. Guck mal, da oben rechts ist die Tür. Da oben, ne? Mein Mauszeiger wird gerade nicht angezeigt, aber ihr seht das ja, dieser Viertelkreis da. Das ist der Eingang und von da aus kann man ja wohl überhaupt nicht den Tisch sehen, wo der Typ dran saß. Alles klar, alles klar.
He was wearing some regular clothes he called a hat.
And what time was this?
I don't know.
Huh?
How do you know what winds me up more than anything else in the round watches, I'm gonna pollute my paws with some digging henpecker, okay? Out of interest, Mr. Tiger, what winds you up the second most? Huh? What do you used to think? Square watches.
Is this guy for real?
All I needed to know was that something bad was going down in that place.
Aber wenigstens haben wir keinen Penalty bekommen diesmal. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. No, you didn't. Haha. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tiger? But you're certainly not a lying pro.
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the phoenix's clutches. Cool gesagt. I think it's time we get something straight. What's this, Troyd? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tiger. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this.
Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
9.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables, you know, is a tall partition. Im Fall in dem Fall ja sogar so eine richtige Wand, ne? Na gut, ist halt auch eine Art von Partition.
Why, that's true.
Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. Oh, genau. Also ich meine, selbst wenn er sich zur Seite dreht, dann hätte er halt den einen Tisch unten rechts sehen können. Das wäre vielleicht gerade noch möglich gewesen. Aber nicht den da oben. Oh, guck mal, er schwitzt. Jetzt haben wir dich aber. So from the entrance of Très Bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him.
Objection!
Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
Or was he? But the defense disproved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade.
It will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim?
Uh-huh.
You say the killer murdered Glenn Elk. and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
Ja. Ist ja jetzt nicht unbedingt so schwer drauf zu kommen. Meine ich jetzt in Bezug auf den Richter. Wir wissen das ja sowieso schon die ganze Zeit. The killer is Furio Tiger. No one else could have done it.
What? Well, witness.
Now that's cute.
You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright.
Das ist ja auch weg.
Mr. Wright. Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Remember, Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone.
Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment, since I'm apparently the only guy who has balls of steel here.
But Mr. Godot.
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no.
The servant girl brought him a Gerichtssaal, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Ja, das wird wahrscheinlich Viola gewesen sein. Die hat doch sogar zu uns noch gesagt, sie hätte irgendwie mitgemacht. Oh, Moment, was war da?
Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
Ah, okay. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Huh. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind.
Yes, your point, Mr. Wright.
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
The defendant is... Holy shit. Holy... Attacke des Mikros. Sorry. The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. Das ist noch ein Grund, warum ich einen neuen Schreibtisch brauche. Ich habe einfach viel zu wenig Platz hier. Andauernd gibt alles um. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
Was würde wohl passieren, wenn man jetzt Maggie auswählen würde? Schade, ich kann nicht mehr speichern. Ich würde es gerne wissen. Weil das ja eigentlich saudumm wäre. Naja. Ich weiß nicht, ich brauche meine Energie noch, ne? Aber... ich habe noch genug Energie. Ich will das wissen, ob irgendwas Besonderes passiert. Obviously, it's the person you least expect. What's the matter, Your Honor?
Oh, nothing. I just dropped my pen again. Don't mind me, carry on with the proceedings as normal.
Okay. Better think again while he's down there, Nick. Okay.
Very good. I found my pen now, so allow me to pose the question again, Mr. Wright. Who on earth was it?
Schade eigentlich. Ich gedacht, da kommt jetzt noch irgendwie was Lustiges. Ich meine, nicht, dass es nicht lustig war, aber so gerade, dass man ausgerechnet die auswählt, von der man gerade sagt, dass sie es nicht war, hätte ich irgendwie so eine Reaktion erwartet, wie von wegen,
Aber Sie haben doch gerade selber gesagt.
und so weiter.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderländer.
You're making a big mistake. Uh-oh. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an Elmer truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, It's true there was another customer in the restaurant. Customer? She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Mrs. Bird seems to have seen, Miss Bird. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. Habe ich auch dran gedacht. Also nicht jetzt, sondern letztes Mal, als letztes Mal Cackling Laugh erwähnt wurde. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real, and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tiger, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you.
Witness, what have you got to say?
That's good.
Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about?
You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh? Right. But you's missed out one real important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you's here. What, do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tiger?
Huh. What a troublemaker. A troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Okay.
Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trebien between yourself and the victim?
Ties to the victim, okay.
Yeah, I loaned out cash about $100,000.
That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payment date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming.
Yeah, I won $500,000.
He got lucky, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000. Yeah, well, you got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast,
The VIG? Weiß gar nicht, was das jetzt ist. It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Naja, ist doch klar, dass die Operation von Viola muss er ja bezahlen. Weil er sie umgefahren hat. Ties to the victim, okay. I loaned L cash about $100,000. Können wir jetzt wieder überall pressen? Oder muss ich weiterhin vorsichtig sein? Ich probiere einfach mal. Did he have any way of paying the loan back?
The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing.
So you were helping him for his sake? Or yours?
Win through compromise. User help me, I'll help user. What's the difference, huh?
I don't believe this. Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5 max. Thanks a lot, Maya. Okay, immerhin können wir Press wählen. That day we was due to have a little chat. Kid had hit his payback date. So how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day?
What do you think? The whole package, $100,000 including interest.
It's a real heavyweight punch.
Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it in my world? That's all you gotta know. And how many times had Mr. Elk been late with his repayments? Once.
And how much was he supposed to pay back every month?
$50.
Wow. Sounds like Mr. Elk was in a real sticky spot. Yeah, at $50 a month, he'd never pay that huge loan off.
So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up.
How much did he have left on his debt?
You want it in round figures? About $100,000.
That's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet.
What, you was telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elk. That guy was smooth, I tell you, real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes, that's what he says to me. The guy didn't cause me to tender tiger.
Tender tiger.
He was skating on thin ice with me. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming.
Yeah, I'll start screaming too. Hold it. Was that because he...
The guy won the lottery, won his last chance at a big win. And you can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 p.m. and runs for 10 minutes. It fixes the time you two met with some accuracy.
And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also that Mr. Kudo would see it.
I can still see the kid's face now. I ain't never gonna forget it. Yes, I won $500,000.
You go lucky, you know, we're lucky. Mm-hmm. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time?
I don't remember.
If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time.
So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning? Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you?
Huh. The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. He makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it.
All I know is the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end.
If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. The waitress, you mean?
Girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair, who else could I mean? If she had got in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe you should push a little on this. Ja, mir fällt nichts anderes ein. Ask about what Maggie did. Ask how things would have been. What exactly are you implying the defendant did? Ich meine, das war jetzt vielleicht ein bisschen dumm, das haben wir eigentlich schon gehört. Vielleicht wäre das andere interessanter gewesen.
How about you go ask 4 eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad, she poisoned O's coffee.
A likely theory, a war hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tiger. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene tried.
The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I sent down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I see.
Your Honor, the witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee.
I concur, Mr. Godot. You will amend your testimony accordingly, witness. So that's what you're after, Phoenix, right?
He said that when she did, my business with that kid was over. Okay. More press. I was trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage her case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Ah, okay, das wäre die andere Option gewesen.
I use all there what I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony or would you like it amended?
Zu dem anderen ist mir jetzt erstmal nichts eingefallen. Machen wir mal have it amended. I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended. Wir wissen, was da jetzt steht zumindest. Ich kann es ja wahrscheinlich immer hin und her switchen.
Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please.
was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. Hm. Naja, er brauchte doch noch mehr Geld als $100.000. Wenn ich das richtig verstehe. Und vielleicht hat der Glenn Alchemy mir irgendwie sogar was erzählt über dieses MC Bomber Ding. Ich meine, er hat es ja immerhin dabei. Vielleicht hat Glenn Alchemy mir erzählt, hier, guck mal, ich kann dir auf jeden Fall dein Geld zurückgeben, wenn das mit dem Lotto-Ticket nicht klappt. Habe ich hier voll einen geilen Computervirus, der ist Millionen von Dollar wert, also kein Stress mal. Und dann hat sich Furio Tiger gedacht, oh, das hätte ich gerne, und hat ihn umgebracht. Beziehungsweise eben auch das hier, ne? Jetzt bin ich nicht sicher, was ich da zeigen könnte. Ich würde eher mal, das könnte schon wieder ein bisschen zu weit gedacht sein für Ace Attorney. Ich würde sagen, das war auf jeden Fall ein Grund, den umzubringen und sich schon mal die $500.000 unter den Nagel zu reißen. Wenn nicht sogar er darüber tatsächlich gesprochen hat. Ich probiere es jetzt.